I'm going to switch over to this one real quick. There we are. Hey, everyone. Sorry, I'm just getting situated. I'll be making sure the stream's up and running. How is everyone tonight? Happy inauguration. Let me check here on Twitch, make sure we're live here. So I'm going to be doing some Battlefront and talking a little Star Wars. I think Weston's going to join me later. I think he's watching some of the inauguration special, actually. But he'll be up in a bit. I'm just trying to check and make sure that we are up. Hey, look at this. Looks like I am live on Twitch, at least. I got the multi-stream chat up, so hopefully I'll be able to see everything that comes through. I can't type back to everybody at the same time, but I can obviously reply in voice. Excuse me. Let's see here. I'm just checking and making sure that we're live on YouTube as well. Maybe I should have checked the news right before I came on. I was talking to Weston earlier, and I was like, hey, you want to join me on the stream tonight? I'm planning on doing a little Battlefront or something, you know, provided that nothing horrible happens tonight. Because I don't want to be just like streaming about Star Wars if there's some kind of, you know. I think people have been kind of afraid, a little anxious about today, so I'm definitely in that boat. Yes, it looks like we're live on YouTube as well. Cool. Well, yeah, if you're tuning in, say hi in the chat. But what was I just saying? Anxiety about tonight news. Yes, I think like a lot of people, I've been really kind of like Wednesday's kind of been hanging over my head. I've just been hoping that, you know, nothing bad's gonna happen and everything is just like a normal, basic inauguration. Same old, you know, boring kind of stuff that we usually have. And so far, it, you know, kind of seems like that's what's happening, which is good. But I haven't checked the news recently, so I hope I'm not like going live right during some like awful thing. Well, let's see. The top story on Twitter is a look at how U.S. President Joe Biden has redecorated the Oval Office. So I guess that means that nothing terrible happened. Because that's a pretty, one of those news stories that is not a news story, really. I don't really care how he's redecorating. I will say, though, the idea of taking over not just like Trump's job, but taking over the place that he was living. And I know he didn't really spend as much time there as a lot of presidents, but like, man, just burn those sheets. Like fucking burn them. I would not, because you know he probably did something weird, something insidious that like he was just like getting off on like the power trip, because you know when you're that rich, like there's not really much else you can really get off on except for weird power trips. And you know that he did something weird in the White House just so he could like brag about it to his gross Coconut Grove buddies. Or whatever that place, that secret place that rich people are supposed to meet. Is that called Coconut Grove? That can't really be what it's called. Anyway, Star Wars. Let's talk Star Wars, maybe play some Star Wars. If you're watching this in the audio, it was weird. Let me know. You know what? I got to open up Zoom, too, to make sure that Weston can jump in if he wants to. Hopefully he wasn't trying to get in already. Join the computer audio participants. Okay. Looking good. All right. Yeah, let me know if there's any weird audio stuff. I think I should have it set up so we're not going to get any feedback or anything like that from the game. But yeah, let me know. Or let me know if it's just too darn loud. I'm going to kick it into performance mode here. Pull the old stream up on this so I can look at it on here. I don't drink booze, but I am relaxing with a fine diet cola beverage. Not product placement, because I did not say the brand. And haven't we had enough product placement in life? I don't begrudge any like podcast hosts or people who, take sponsorship to make their content creation businesses work. If that's what do what you got to do. There's no problem with that. But I personally try to avoid a lot of that kind of stuff. Weston and I do a movie podcast called Film Franchise Friends. And I made like a pledge that was like, I will never have like ads for those lame like HelloFresh and like Holo Pillow and like, all these like, or MeUndies, all these just, Warby Parker, all these like online brands that just advertise all this direct to consumer mail order subscription service kind of junk, because I just get so sick of those services, and so many of them are just, so much of that stuff is just junk. And I get so sick of hearing the same ads for like HelloFresh. It's like, start your free trial. It's like, I already had a free trial. It was terrible. All right, cool. I've got my stream up here on my phone. Let's kick it over to the old PlayStation 4 here. Hopefully that pops up in a second. I'm going to try to monitor my Zoom for when Weston jumps in. Okay. So I feel like I was talking a little bit about this last time, but with all these Star Wars projects being announced and none of those projects being, well, that's not true. I guess they didn't announce any new movies, but they did talk about movies, a couple movies. Basically, the only movies that are in production, I think, are the one that Taika Waititi's doing and the Rogue Squadron movie that Patty Jenkins is doing. But beyond that, I don't think there's any movies. But, like, if you're watching, throw it in the chat. What would you want to see from, like, the next Star Wars movie? Or movies, if you're interested in, like, a trilogy or something. I know that a lot of people really want to see, like, like Knights of the Old Republic trilogy or something like that, which I think would be cool. Yeah, am I in camera enough here? Let me scoot forward a bit. There we are. Ugh. Yeah, I know a lot of people would like to see like a Knights of the Old Republic kind of thing. I think that would be cool. That's not like super my thing, but I do feel like it has the potential to be fun and interesting. So I'd be down to see it if the right person was making it. I guess that's kind of what they're doing with some of this High Republic stuff. I feel like they're kind of trying to please people who want more like Old Republic stuff. And at the same time kind of carve out their own new thing. Have something new and exciting to market. I'm sure they did a lot of market testing on, what High Republic, how people felt about that. I'm curious also if anyone watching actually plays Battlefront. I feel like this is one of those games that was like super hyped, and they had really bad PR at the beginning with the whole like loot box fiasco, which there never really were like any paid loot boxes in this game. Like as far as like they made everything unlockable. You've never had to pay anything extra unless you don't want to do the work to unlock it. You can pay. Oh boy. I'm hoping that you don't have like two audios in here. If the audio sounds like it has a bit of an echo on it, let me know. I'm going to just try to like play a little bit here, and then I'll check in on the feed. See how it sounds. Oh, this is not the class that I wanted to be. This is one of them assault classes. Whew. Sorry, I'm getting too into the game there. Got lost. Whew. Like I said, I haven't been playing Assault as much as I used to. Oof. I'm surprised that I survived that. I'm at the point in this game where I'm not the worst player. That's about as good as I've gotten at any game. At least for like online play. Like video games, not very good at them. Oof. Well, I couldn't hold that by myself. Where's my team at? Let's see here. I know they just announced a bunch of new Star Wars stuff. I think it's probably definitely for the best that the license is no longer exclusively with EA. As much as I like this game, I think they kind of botched the launch of it. And I am not super happy with Squadrons. I know that some people seem to like it, but I definitely feel kind of irritated that I bought that game and pre-ordered it because it's not very good. It's extremely thin. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think it was probably also a mistake to like make this sort of like small, accessible kind of game that where they're you know, admittedly having a thin game wouldn't be that bad if like the multiplayer was really fun, but the multiplayer is kind of bogged down by sort of like how realistic and how much of a flight simulator they wanted to make it. And I don't know, it just doesn't play like, it doesn't feel like breezy and fun to play, but there's not really enough to the game for me to really want to invest like the time that I need to invest to get good at it to like actually play online. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I give it another chance, I'll like it more. But I definitely feel pretty let down by Squadrons. Look at these nerds. I feel like Specialist was like my least favorite class when I got this game, and now it's my favorite. The power-ups are just so much better. Oh god. And this weapon for heroes is surprisingly good. Where is he? Ooh. Well, at least I hit him. I just got Dooku'd. I've got another question for anybody viewing. Dooku, good or bad? I like him. I'm a big Christopher Lee fan. Admittedly, he doesn't get a ton to do, but I think the character's cool. They kind of flesh him out a little bit in the Clone Wars. And he does have just like, I don't know, he's a great like, oh, we need a villain for this movie that can die, so there's a sense of like, you know, or maybe not die, but a villain that can be defeated, so there's a sense of like completion. I do really like him in, I guess, Revenge of the Sith as well. It's just that obviously there's not a lot of that. Overtime. All right. Well, I guess we win. Victory. Where's my medal? How is the old stream? I'm going to turn the sound up on this for 1 second. Sorry about that. I am checking the audio here, and I feel like we are getting a little bit of what I was afraid was going to happen. Monitor is off on everything. I do not understand why it is coming through my headphones. Maybe if I do monitor only, mute output. I think this will be better now. I think this makes sense in my head, the audio problems. So hopefully this sounds a little bit better, but I'll play a little bit here and check it again. Okay. Oh, sorry for the chaos here. Oh boy, we're doing a Clone Wars era map. I got all my clones here set to the 127th. Is that correct? Let's see what it is. 327th. Did I say 127th? I think I did. What a damn fool I've been. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about that. I like those a lot. I just started playing. Well, I haven't played at all, but I just started buying with the intention of playing Star Wars Legion, which, if you're familiar, it's a tabletop like warfare game, but with Star Wars. Wait, I think now I have even more of the echo. Oh boy. Let's check it out on here. Give me 1 sec. Sorry, you're probably hearing an echo now. Streaming on Max is hard because this whole audio thing, they make it very difficult. Okay, so I think what I want to do is turn the monitor off on this and then also just mute it. Okay, I think this might fix the problem. Boy, I'm not being a very good teammate to the people that I'm playing with right now. Well, I don't think these people care that I'm troubleshooting audio problems. So having like picking up your desktop audio and different audio sources is stupidly complicated on a Mac. I definitely love my Mac. I just had to buy a new computer and I bought another Mac, but there are things like that that can be a real pain in the ass. Ooh. Oof. Well, I was not prepared for that guy's shotgun. Okay, let's do specialist again. I like this feed map. Oof. Oof. Looks like there's a little sniper boy over there. Oof. Missed the guy right in front of me, of course. Alright, let's see now how this audio is coming through.
Enemy is caught waypoint Alpha. Withdraw to secondary position.
Look, there's a little sniper boy over there. Sorry, you probably got bleed from me watching the feed. Alright, let me turn this back on. Okay. I think we're good now. Okay. Let's do this. Now, what do we have over here? Saw some red dots over there. Oh, shit. Obi-Wan saved me. You know, I feel like everybody always uses that Obi-Wan skin that's like has him from with the Clone Wars armor, but classic robes is pretty good Obi-Wan look. I have to admit that I also have him with the cool Clone Wars armor, because, I mean, come on. But the other ones are good too. Alright, who am I going to get my ass kicked as now? Specialist. Let's try specialist some more. I was all about the officer when I first started playing this game. Which does make sense, because if you aren't very good and your aim is not great, then, you know, being the officer is a good way to score points without necessarily killing. And you can genuinely help out quite a bit. I kind of like how there's different ways to play this game because of the different classes like that. I definitely leveled up. I was still able to level up, you know, fairly quickly, even though I was terrible at this game in the beginning. I'm trying to get better, but these droids are just kicking our ass. Sometimes this game gets so lopsided, though. I mean, that's true with a lot of online games, but I don't feel like that happens as much with others. Well, I tried. So there's a thing with this city, the city of Theed on Naboo, that it seems extremely inspired by Dinotopia, a book that you've probably read when you were a kid, maybe? Picture book. It's got really amazing illustrations in it. And Lucas was definitely a fan, and is a huge fan of illustration in general. Oh, here comes Vader. Yeah, he got me. And they realized, I mean, I don't think it was necessarily like they intended to rip him off, but it was definitely one of the influences. And they definitely realized by the time this movie was done, oh man, this looks a lot like Dinotopia. And they actually reached out to the artist, the creator of Dinotopia, and I believe they basically they paid him and said, hey, we've done this stuff and it's inspired by your stuff, and is there going to be any problem? We should probably make sure we work this out, you know, before this this $100 million movie that my entire company's future hangs on comes out. Which is kind of a thing, you know. People are definitely critical of episode 1, but I feel like that movie is pretty goddamn bold considering that, like, Lucas ponied up his own money for that movie. And, you know, he basically took all the money he'd made from, like, the unexpected success of the special editions and sunk it into this episode 1 thing, and also tried to, you know, cover any risk by doing a lot of merchandising and things like that. But it was still like his kind of company and his money on the line. And he made a weird ass movie. No one can say he didn't. A movie that I still like quite a bit. It's probably my least favorite of the prequels, which I know is not cool anymore. I feel like Attack of the Clones is probably like the one that people really love to hate now. But I've always liked Attack of the Clones more. I love that kind of like goofy, pulpy energy of that movie. Oh my god. Boy, we are just being overrun already. Oof. The detail in these maps is so good. Oh god, I wasn't expecting one of these. Well, that was no good. Let's go back to the specialist. I'm trying to get better at the specialist too. I'm putting in the time. The specialist also has this, like, I don't know, that it's like that pistol that Queen Amidala has, but it does like damage over time, and it is occasionally pretty effective against heroes like this person that's gonna come through this door right now. Ugh. Well, I was hoping I'd get a chance to use it on a hero, but I guess that just wasn't in the cards. Ugh, they're already overrun into this place. This is going to be a disaster. Ugh, boy, this is brutal. Ugh. Nasty bastards. Oh yeah, I was talking earlier about Legion. I started buying Star Wars Legion stuff and painting those miniatures, which I'm not very good at yet, but I may do some live streaming of that. I think it might be fun to live stream some mini painting. And I want to do more art stuff streaming. I am an artist. I am an artist. If you're interested in my art, brianwestart.com. There's links to, you know, my Instagram and website and all that kind of stuff. But I want to do more streaming of just like drawing and things like that. I'm just kind of in this weird place artistically right now, not to sound too highfalutin, where I'm kind of, I guess, a little frustrated. I feel like, especially because we've all been spending so much time on the computer lately, everybody in general. And I work from home, and I'm a designer and illustrator, and I normally draw on a computer, or at least I have been for the last few years. And I'm just kind of getting sick of sitting on a computer all the time. And I, you know, I'm finding it kind of not feeling like it's very fun to just sort of sit down on a computer like I do all the time whenever I want to create art. And so I'm trying to draw more traditionally again, but my art style, my illustration style is very much kind of influenced by design and things like that. And it's definitely a somewhat in some ways a product of the digital tools. And I draw very differently when I'm drawing just on paper, traditionally with ink and stuff. And I'm kind of interested in just kind of changing up my style a bit. So I've been doing kind of a lot of just experiments and sketchbook stuff. But I feel like once I have some of this worked out of my system, I'm going to get into streaming art and things like that again. Maybe do some like live requests or something. Can we possibly fend them off? I feel like this team has not been doing that well, but I'm trying to just hit some heroes with this. I feel like I bragged about this weapon. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a hero killer, and I haven't been able to do anything worthwhile with it. It's okay against troops because it damages them over time, but sometimes you can really... It does more damage specifically against heroes. Sometimes you can really tear people up with this thing. And it's got a pretty good, like, you can fire it quite a bit before it needs to cool down. Ah, get out of the way, dude. I'm trying to shoot these heroes. Woo.
Ally landing, moving to assist.
Ooh. Ah. Thought maybe I could stand a chance of taking out that Vader, but I don't think that was meant to be. All right, let's try it again, though.
Flankers in the throne room.
Oh, maybe I can get him this time.
Be careful, brothers.
Yes. Ah, damn. Got shotgun blasted by a lousy battle droid. Or a clanka. I think it's pretty cool that Tamara Morrison has been able to kind of come back into Star Wars and play Boba Fett. That's awesome to me. I always felt like he was pretty good in the prequels, and he got kind of a raw deal because people decided that, they hated Jango Fett or whatever. But I think as good as all the clones, and I like the idea. I don't know. I like the idea of him kind of coming back. I'm excited for, as irritated as I was about like the end of Mandalorian just being a teaser for something else. I am kind of, I'm very much looking forward to the Book of Fett or whatever it's called. I think it's the Book of Boba Fett, but I like the Book of Fett. The Book of Fett. I don't even know what happened right now. Are we seriously gonna lose?
Attackers taking control. What's that cover? Get moving. I want to smell the scrap metal.
Woo. Worth it. Let's be another jet trooper. All right, let's go. Let's go.
Master Yoda's here.
No, we lost in overtime. Damn it.
No use. All forces
What a bunch of malarkey. Let's see. Sorry, just checking my messages here. You're ready. Triple XP bonus. Why is there a triple XP bonus for the inauguration? Happy inauguration. Here's some extra experience points in your Star Wars. Go buy yourself a Star Wars. Really though, why is there triple XP points? Do I need to like check the Star Wars Instagram feed or something? I'm genuinely very curious. There's got to be a Battlefront like Instagram feed, right? Or EA Star Wars feed. EA Star Wars. Okay. Pilots enjoy bonus XP day. Get your starfighters. Da da da. Is it just because there was a new Squadrons update? Yeah, I don't really see any details of why. Guess they're just excited about their new Squadrons update. Ugh. I quite like the battle droid design. I think that's another thing I feel like gets overly criticized sometimes. Maybe not as much anymore, but certainly in the beginning is the sort of design work on the prequels, and I think it's just amazing. Those three kind of like art of books, the art of episode 1, 2, and 3, they're like the best art of books in existence. They're really, really awesome. And they weirdly kind of also document the kind of shift in the visual development industry from like traditional illustration tools to digital. Like in episode 1, there's like no digital paintings or anything like that. Like all the previs stuff is, you know, Doug Chang's like pencils and markers, sketches and things like that. Paint, you know, gouache paint, markers, all that kind of classic, you know, concept art kind of stuff. And then by the time you get to episode 3, I don't think there's hardly any traditional sketches in it or anything like that. It's all digital paintings. And the work is equally amazing. But, sorry, I was trying to snipe that guy. Ooh, almost got that officer. Yeah, those books are good. You should get them. You can find them used pretty cheap. I think I got episode 1 and 2 with a little bit of like cover damage for probably like, you know, $8 or something each, or $5 each. I bought the episode 3 one like fresh when it came out. But when the other ones were coming out, I wasn't really like, let's see. Yeah, I probably wasn't in the wasn't really in the art book market yet. I probably owned a couple art books in the late 90s and early 2000s, but it was probably like Frank Frazetta or something like that. I definitely had a Frank Frazetta book that I got in like, I don't know, when I was like 13 or so. Ah, damn this guy. Ugh. Damn these people. Where are these nerds at? There he is. Guess I should have checked my heat before I went up there, huh? Yes. Oh, I got shot. Damn me. Damn me all to hell. Man, should I be this thing? I feel like I'm never this thing. Alright, what are these buttons again? Ugh. Ugh. Ah. This thing sucks. Maybe I suck at it. All right. That's very possible too. Oh, I leveled up. I do not know what these two sort of extra things do. Oh, it just like literally drops you outside of it? That's crazy. I mean, fun, don't get me wrong, but crazy. All right, let's move in, nerds. Come on, babies. Moving in with these boys. These big boys. All right. I feel like this is some shit is going to go down. Oh, damn. I thought I was moving further away from the sound of a lightsaber, not closer to it. Oh, man. Yeah, I think it's cool in the supremacy mode that you can only use like period accurate characters. I think they should have that in Galactic Assault too. I don't need Rey running around Theed. I don't need Vader running around Theed. I want period accurate. People would probably hate that. But I do think that's a fun feature with supremacy. I feel like it's unlikely because this game was such a botched... Like, the launch was so botched for this game, but if they made a sequel... I wonder what I would like to see. There's not necessarily, like, more planets. I mean, I would like to, I guess, see more planets, but... Just different maps, even if they're the same places. I feel like they've definitely done a lot now between the last two Battlefront games. Be nice to see some more Cloud City. I would like a better Hoth map. I don't know. I think the Hoth map in this one is not very good. I kind of like the first one better, honestly. What am I using this gun for when I could be scoping in? There we go. Sniped. Yes. No. There we go. Oh no, BB-8. Oh dear God, no. Oh, it looks like Weston's trying to get in. Let me jump this guy. Hey, dude, what's up?
What's going on?
Nothing, nothing.
I like your new gamer chair.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is the first time I had my gamer chair.
Do you feel like your gaming is more elite?
I 100% feel more elite. Like 100% more elite. Yes.
How do you feel
And
about
with
my
I wouldn't even say elite anymore. I would just say elite
elite,
with
just
two
elite?
threes.
What about
Um,
what about your feelings towards minorities?
They remain unchanged in that I'm supportive.
Do you mean the gamer chair hasn't?
It doesn't turn me into a monster. No, actually, I love this chair so far. This is absolutely not product placement, and although you could probably see the name of the chair, I'm not going to say it. But I got a chair because I really needed a chair. I've been using a folding chair for the last few years, and I do everything. You know, I game here, I do work here, I draw here, and I've been doing it on a damn folding chair. So I looked into finding an ergonomic gaming chair and found this, and I got to say it's pretty awesome. Even though it does look like an energy drink. Like
I like the high back.
that's
the
the thing
headrest.
is I like the high back, and I feel like this cushion is so dorky and so like just Cartman, you know, playing video games
Yeah.
in South Park, but damned if it really doesn't. I mean, it helps a lot.
Does
It's
it
awesome.
does it have armrests?
It does, and they are so adjustable and nice.
Good. Actually, because I usually prefer chairs without armrests.
Interesting.
Um,
If they don't lower, then I
Right.
would prefer them without. Because they can get in the way sometimes. But these ones, like, you can lower them down to the point, like, I can get underneath the table, you know? So they don't, like, bump into anything. And I can raise them up higher if I'm, like, in different positions. So as long as I can, like, raise and lower them, I'm cool. But I don't like it when they're just, like, hard.
I'm in this like IKEA chair right now, and it's pretty good. It's done me well over the years. But we actually have a Herman Miller chair as
Oh.
well. It was when it was a couple years ago when I got that job working at the startup, and I was working from home. I was in this chair so much it actually just started like hurting my back. And at the time where Allie worked, they had like 3 or 4 broken Herman Miller chairs. Like the whole office had Herman Miller chairs, and there was like 3 or 4 like broken ones like off in a side room. And I was like, hey, would you mind if I like grabbed one of these like broken ones? And the only thing that's like broken is just like it's like a little like bit of the webbing in the back. Like it doesn't affect the chair at all.
And how much is that chair, like, new? Like $1,200 or something?
Yeah, it's insane. It's like crazy how much this chair is. But man, like those chairs are 100%
Oof.
worth the money because they are so dang comfortable, and they're awesome. And right now, Allie's using it in the office because she sits at her desk more than I do. But I like that little gamer chair. What well, you could just message me the brand later.
I mean, I'm not, like, against saying it. I just didn't want to be like...
Don't say it, dude. They're gonna
Okay,
they're
alright.
gonna come get you. Oh, speaking of coming and getting you, I got an email about our podcast today.
Oh, yeah? From who?
I don't know if it's a scam. I don't know if it was just like. I really don't even know how they got my email address. To be
I'm
honest.
so curious now.
I really don't know how they, because
Ooh, Obi-Wan just
there's
slayed
nowhere
me.
there, like I have no idea how they got my email
It's
address.
probably because the web hosting. Because I think
Maybe,
you have to
yeah.
have an email and an address associated with any like domain. Although I own the actual domain, but then I guess it would go to your. It just forwards to your domain. So, yeah, I don't know. Sorry, go on.
Let me try to find out.
Is it like a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. I have no idea what this is.
I already plugged our podcast earlier, but I'll plug it again. If people want to check out our podcast, go to filmfranchisefriends.com. That's filmfranchisefriends.com.
So it's from this guy.
Say that 10 times fast.
Film a friend.
I
I
just
have no idea what email address it's on.
because we do actually have a film franchise friends at gmail.com, but I don't think I've ever made that public, so I haven't checked it really at all. I just used it to set up a couple accounts and things, you know, the like Patreon and stuff. Well,
Okay.
I didn't help
So-
my team very much on that one.
It went straight to the promotions tab. So that was the first thing that I was like, this is fucking weird. Anyways, it's something called Audrey. Website's audrey.io.
What is it?
Audrey, Audry.
Interesting.
I mean, it looks like fake as shit to me.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's this dude. It's actually this guy right here.
He's a
that emailed me.
Nigerian prince.
Says, "Hi Weston, my name is Eugenio.
Uh-huh.
My name is Eugenio, and I reach out because of your podcast, Film Franchise Friends. I am the founder of Audrey, where we help podcast creators partner up with each other to grow their audiences jointly. We have been building a free platform to connect like-minded creators and cross promotions and partnerships, and we would love to have you and film franchise friends on board." How it works. Audrey helps you team up with creators for collaborations of any kind. On the platform, you find the tools to network in your niche to talk to the right person on the other side. Ultimately, it's up to you who you work with. You keep full control over your content and the way you collaborate. I mean, I just don't know what the fuck is it like.
It kind of sounds
kinda
like
just wanna
basically
reply and
what
I
they're
say-
doing is like setting up people who are like, it's like mutually beneficial like influencers, you know? Like it's like being part of a podcast network without being part of a podcast network is what it sounds like to me. Because you would be like, oh, well, let me connect you with this other movie podcast, and you guys can do a thing where you can be a guest on this guy's, podcast, and then they'll be a guest on your podcast, and then you'll both be able to
Yeah.
promote each other's podcasts. It's like, it sounds like it's almost like something like that. Like they're like playing matchmaker for podcasts so you can help each other with marketing. Which is not necessarily a bad idea, but I feel like it could definitely lead to some disastrous podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, I kind of want to respond to him and say, we here at Film Franchise Friends believe in no gods and no masters. You can't own us.
No gods, no masters. I like it. Tell them what's up.
So, the inauguration was today.
It sure was.
We watched the inauguration party.
I bet that
and-
was.
It was fine. I mean, like, a lot of like pre-recorded stuff
Yeah.
happening. John Bon Jovi did a I could only be. I've never seen this map at sunset. It's so gorgeous.
It looks pretty nice, I gotta say.
maybe one of the worst covers of a song I've ever. I mean, not only was it a song that I detest with a lot of like with every bit of me, I detest the song. It was also one of the worst covers I've ever heard. I mean, it was just bad. He covered "Here Comes the Sun" by the Beatles,
Oh,
and I hate that song. It's just so like just cringe. It's annoying. I mean, it sucks.
I like
And
that song, but yeah.
you like that song?
Yeah. I mean, it's not my favorite Beatles or anything, but I like it.
You're walking around like doing the dishes. Here comes the sun. Ghost, that metal band Ghost, they did a cover of that song on one of their Japanese as a
Oh,
bonus track on one
that
of the
sounds
Japanese
cool,
albums.
actually.
And it fucking rules. It like it makes it seem like instead of like "Here Comes the Sun," it sounds like this. It makes the sun sound like death.
It's ominous.
It kind of sounds, yeah, because what they do is they uh they drop it down to the minor chord. And it's
Dropping down.
and it sounds amazing. It's so good. But Bon Jovi covered the song, and it was terrible. And that was like, yeah, okay. We were like, oh, we're gonna be in for it. Foo Fighters did Times Like These, and it was really good. They then what actually got me like kind of like in the feels was I haven't heard of this musician before. His name is Ant Clemens. Him and Justin Timberlake did a song together, and they filmed it in Memphis. I had no
Yeah.
idea. They filmed it at Stax, and like in the beginning, it's like they're in the studio, and then at the end, like kind of in the middle of the song, they like walk out of Stax, and they're like on the streets of Memphis, like singing.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so fucking cool because Memphis is one like, especially like Graceland and stuff. Like whenever you see it, like they don't usually show what's around it because in a lot of these like places that are historically important, such as Sun Studios, Graceland, Stax, is like what's around it maybe is not that good of part of a town, so you really don't see that.
Kind
so
of a
to me, it was
shithole.
like, dude, yeah. So like to me, it was like super cool that they were like, no, we're gonna go outside of Stax, and it wasn't like they were like right in front of the building, like they were like down the street, and you could see the building in the background. It was really fucking good. It made me very, very happy. I wasn't expecting that at all. And that ruled. Other than that, it was kind of like it was fine. But yeah, man.
I watched the actual inauguration today, and it was what I guess I was hoping it would be in some ways, which was a pretty boring kind of standard event.
Yeah.
a lot of platitudes being thrown around. Really, the only kind of interesting part was the poem to me. The poet laureate who came up and did that, like her performance in that poem was pretty awesome. But beyond that, like it was all pretty standard kind of stuff, and it was like cool. Boring shit. Good. No attacks on anybody, or I still feel a little bit like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, but
Allie and I were literally just talking about this, but there's already a Biden scandal.
oh, because of his Peloton.
Is the Peloton?
I knew that people were gonna be saying, "Oh, we use a Peloton." Like, oh, people are gonna hack his Peloton. It's like, oh my god.
Because they have to take the microphone out of it.
Yeah.
I told Allie, I was like, is Biden's Peloton the new Hillary's emails?
Yeah.
Is that going to be the thing the right-wing news outlets cover?
No, they're just gonna make up some shit about him like trafficking children or whatever kind of same bullshit they always make up. And then...
Jill Biden ordered the Anthony off of Wayfair.
Man, I had to unfollow an artist that I like just because he got too, like a musical artist, because he got too crazy with the just conspiracy stuff, And it's such a bummer to watch people just like lose their minds, basically. Lose touch with reality.
Yeah, I I've unfollowed a few artists because of some just lost touch of reality. Like there was one guy who was constantly like just being like you know both of these people like they're the same, Trump and Biden are the same, and I'm like, yeah, that's true. And then it was like when it became clear that Biden was going to be the the nominee and whatever, he was like double down on it. And while that's fine, I do think that a lot of
Yeah, there's truth to
things,
that.
there's
Like,
truth to that. It was just like at some point, you know, like if you think that you're being good by openly like just constantly dunking without like proposing any other solutions and whatnot, like that's
yes.
just it's just like, okay, well, you're just being annoying now.
Some people just want to be negative or whatever.
So, yeah, edge
Like,
lord, like fucking
yeah.
want to be like, and it's usually all these like basic ass midwestern like dads and like want to be edge lords. And eventually I was just like, oh, this artist literally was selling, like he drew like a squid as a cop, and was like, I remember he was drawing it, and then the George Floyd stuff happened, and then he fucking like had he had the fucking balls to like the next day be like, hey, my squid cop drawings is on sale for a sticker, go buy it.
Oh my god.
And it's like, how, where's your fucking brain, dude? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And he's also the same kind of guy that like draws hamburger and Trump's a hamburger, and it's like, I hate that shit. So I haven't followed him, and my life has been better.
Yeah, some of that stuff, like, I basically swore, like, I'm not going to make art with Trump in it. Like, that was, like, a promise that I made to myself. And I basically only broke it, like, once. Like, but I just didn't
Those
want...
stickers. You have the sticker.
Yeah. Of him... Well, I meant drawing him, actually.
Yeah.
But, okay, twice then. The stickers, which were a photo manipulation, and then I drew him once. But... that was it. And I truly was just kind of like, other people can do this, and some of it's going to be good, most of it's going to be bad, but the last thing I want to do is see his stupid fucking face. Because he honestly wouldn't even be president were it not for all the people giving his
Negative
campaign credence by talking about
validity.
it.
Yeah.
And I remember saying when he announced his campaign, like, dude, I don't want to hear jokes about it. I don't want to see memes about it. I'm not interested, because every person who talks about it is just helping his campaign. And sure enough, he won the nomination, and, well, we know how that turned out. But it was terrible. And I got sick of seeing depictions of him, especially in, like, just the, like, oh, you said impeachment, and you drew Trump, but his face is a peach. It's like...
hey, you know what's really gonna stick it to those QAnon white supremacists? If we draw Trump with the American flag as a shit-filled diaper.
Yeah.
That's gonna get them.
There are like some people who went like really far with that to the point where it's like, now this I respect. But like just really some really gross kind of stuff, which isn't usually my thing, but at least like I'm like, this is so like vulgar that it's actually interesting.
I remember
but
Kelly Williams, he was doing that thing that was like literally donate any amount of money to like Planned Parenthood and like show it to me, and I will draw Trump getting murdered in any way that you can imagine. You remember that? It was awesome.
That was like right at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning.
That was like a while ago. Whoa.
I am obsessed with these fucking Bernie Sanders memes of him sitting there.
Man, there's some pretty good ones. How like frustrated do you think Biden is that it's like the story after today is like, look at Bernie in his funny mittens. Like, like this guy who's been trying to be president for like the last 30 years. People were like, yeah, but Bernie's mittens though. I mean, come on, look at these mittens. Like culturally, I mean, what was a bigger impact today?
Mhm.
Vice president becomes president. Or look at these
Bernie's
mittens.
mittens.
He got these from some nice lady. They're made of
Cool
recycled like plastic or something.
Yeah.
The enemy's evacuation transports are still refueling. Cut off their supplies at the fueling station.
But yeah, I mean, I get some ways. I mean, I don't want the criticism of Bernie or of Biden to stop because there's lots there that is worthy of criticism. But I also do get a little bit like much of the like, you don't have to like, you can acknowledge that some of what he does at least is like in the right spirit. I mean,
mean-
just that, you know, like there are things like, I mean, most of the executive orders that he signed today are just like, okay, yes, it's important that we get back in the Paris Climate Accords. Like, this is all kind of like symbolic gesture kind of stuff that is a good idea, but probably isn't actually going to look like that much concretely. But like one of the things that's in there is, stopping the Keystone XL pipeline and stopping the oil being extracted from Bears Ears in Utah.
Dude, like boom.
And
like
that's a
huge.
huge deal.
Huge. Fucking huge. Like that is insanely huge. I mean that whole like Bears Ears thing with Trump
Yeah.
and like the fucking like oil dude scandal and like that's like a saga, and just for that to be just like fuck you, like this was fucking dumb, it's over.
Yeah.
I mean that's huge. It's so fucking important. Like
Public
name
lands took a
another
huge
fucking-
hit the last 4 years.
dude, it's like, and so much of it is like when you hear about that, you're like, oh yeah, Trump's this fucking rich asshole, racist, doesn't give a shit about public lands, blah blah blah. That's why he did it. When I'm gonna say at least 75% of it was that it was literally Obama's like last thing he did as a president was make Bears Ear a national monument, and Trump was like, no, I'm here. I have to undo Obama stuff. So
I think
I don't
that's
even
why
think
he was.
cared. I don't even think he cared
No.
about it.
No, of course not.
He just wanted to undo an Obama policy. That's why he cared about it.
I mean,
was
and
just
you know,
lumped in.
money. Anytime you can sell off public lands to a private company, any Republican's going to be happy about that because they just
Yes.
want to privatize everything. So
It's so fucking like stupid when it's like, you know, you think of the Republicans and how they support like ranchers and cowboys and the rural population when these ranchers
Yeah.
don't own that land, they fucking rent it from the government. So you're actually hurting them, and it's so insane. It's insane. But
Yeah.
it's undone, and that's amazing.
Indeed, yeah, that was like one of the executive orders. Was like, wow, I did not expect that to be in here, and I think that's a really great idea. So
Very, I mean,
So-
day
so
one,
good on
dude.
him.
Like I knew he was gonna do that. Like I remember reading about that, like when he got the nomination, that was one of his main things that he was gonna do. I did not know it was gonna be a day one thing.
yeah, it was surprising.
I mean,
for
like if you
sure.
if you take into consideration like that, and then the first Native American woman being the Secretary of the Interior, it's like he obviously gives a shit about like the environment and land and stuff, and just that alone. I mean, like
I get a
still
little
think he's gonna be
wary of
worse than-
like putting too much emphasis on that kind of stuff though, just because it's such that there's a lot of like half measures with like the environment,
Yeah.
especially with Democrats, and none of it ever really amounts to that much, and it's yeah.
Well,
I don't
two
know.
other things, day one, that I thought were really good. One thing that affects me directly is putting the pause on student loans until October.
Oh yeah, me too. I mean,
oh my
I
God.
feel like that was going to continue to happen for the next
Yeah.
at least 3 or 4 months anyway, because that's what, like, the deadline's been up every time and then they just keep pushing it back. So, yeah, I'm
And,
definitely in that boat. Support us on Patreon.
The
$15,000 would be really nice right now
yes, I need $1,500 to
for your
buy a
student
roof.
loans.
No,
Oh, I was gonna say.
we I'll get to it, but we were pretty much closing on a house.
Oh,
happened. I
congratulations!
think I sent you the link. I sent you the link, right? I sent you the link.
Yeah, the place looked amazing.
Yes.
It looks super
But-
cool. with the weird booth on the lake.
Yes.
There's the dock booth.
Yes. Oh, and we asked the seller. They were like, we asked them. We were like, what was that room? Was it a greenhouse? Was it? And they were like, no, it's just like a place that they could like go sit in the summertime and not get bit by mosquitoes. Like it was literally just like a covered area.
I mean, that's not a bad idea because there's probably a lot of mosquitoes in that little pond.
Yes. But two other things real quick. We'll talk about the house, but I do want to say that the reversing or canceling the Muslim ban,
Oh yeah.
very important, very that, and also I guess three things. He undid the 1776 commission.
Mm-hmm.
And also he reversed the ban on transgender people in the military.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty damn good day one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, in terms of like,
I mean, a lot of it's just like you were saying. It's just like doing like just getting. Okay, these are just the basic like dumb. I mean, that's the thing that's dumb about executive orders is that they can basically just be undone with another executive order. That's why it's more useful to actually like make real like structural change and pass laws, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, it's I mean, I remember. I mean, the past 4 years have been crazy, and it's just going to be,
It's definitely nice to just like know that like, just on a base level when you're dealing with like something like a pandemic, for example, that the people in charge are going to make the general decisions that are like, oh, this will probably benefit like people in that they won't be sick anymore. Like, like just somebody making the decisions that are saying like, oh, let's make sure people don't get this virus. Whereas Trump was just like, how can I protect my image during this virus?
It's like, I mean, like it goes from
the
like
best thing you say is to downplay the virus. Okay, I just won't talk about it then.
I downplayed the virus so the American public doesn't freak out.
And you remember when we were like approaching 200,000 and he was like, it's probably just going to go away on its own.
Yeah.
And it's like, now we're at 400,000 deaths. It's like, don't think it's going to go away on its own.
I mean, more people died from the coronavirus in the United States than soldiers died in World War II.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
That's fucking insane. I mean, we've had like 11.
I mean, America has done pretty well on casualties in general with war. So
yeah,
we don't. Obviously, if you took somebody else in Europe, it would be a lot more. But or in Japan, for God's sake, or China, fuck. But yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like how many civil wars like stacked on top of each other. Like it's an insane amount of people.
Yeah,
and we will likely get to 500,000, which is horrible. It's horrible.
Yes. Do you follow the artist Durf Backdurf on Instagram? I mean, I'm sorry, on Twitter.
I used to. He's not on Instagram, is he?
No, I meant Twitter.
Yeah. So I don't know if I do on Twitter. I used to be friends with him on Facebook back when Facebook was a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I've read a couple of his books and stuff. I'm familiar with Durf, the cartoonist Durf.
I love Durf Backdurf.
Yeah.
To me, he. Our friend JB, he recently. Did you read his interview in the Comics Journal?
No, I didn't. I've been meaning to, but I haven't gotten around to it.
One thing he kind of points out, because they ask about like, hey, why do you dunk on Ed Piskor so much?
Yeah.
And he basically says like, he thinks it's kind of weird that he essentially like makes a Wikipedia comic, which he calls like, just like retelling the history of something.
Yeah.
Of a culture he doesn't really belong to, and like profiting off of it and stuff. And the whole
Yeah.
like Wikipedia comic thing struck me. I never thought of it like that. And I've just been kind of thinking about these comics that I've read about certain things that it's like, yeah, it kind of is like
Yeah,
you're
there are
just kind
definitely
of
those comics, but that doesn't mean that
redone.
they can't be good. I think
Right.
when you combine like I don't know, the right person with the right subject matter, like if anyone's ever, I think it's just called Giant. Do you ever read that? The Box Brown like little biography of Andre the Giant.
Oh, I haven't read that one, but I know
Um,
about it.
it's very much done in that kind of Wikipedia comic style. Like it doesn't really have like a through narrative of his life. They don't really try to tell you a specific story and sum him up or anything. It's just sort of a recounting of like specific incidents. It's almost like reading an oral history. There are even parts where it's just like, yeah, there's video footage of like Hulk Hogan saying this thing, and here's an artist drawing Hulk Hogan saying this thing, you know, like,
Yeah.
and they'll say like, oh, in an interview, you know, like, so it's almost designed in that way, and I think it's really good. And I think in that same respect, I think that Ed Piskor is done. I think that the X-Men Wikipedia comic he did is a much better idea and much more fun than the Hip Hop Family Tree thing,
Yes.
for obvious, you know, like reasons. But I think when he made that, I think I can at least excuse him as a purpose, being that it does seem to come from a place of genuine enthusiasm and love, and he's not doing it anymore. He is still kind of a silly dude who wears chains and all this kind of stuff that I think is a little ridiculous, but I also I think it's authentic. Like, and I don't know. I respect the guy for just seeming like being himself, even if that is partially co-opted culture, I guess.
Have
But
you ever met him or talked to him or anything?
I have talked to him briefly. I don't know. He was, you know, friendly.
So they got him for the one of these like the Memphis Comic Expos, and
Mm-hmm.
he was actually booth like right across from me. And I mean, it was like completely dead. Nobody knew who he was. Um, and I went and bought some like Ninja Turtle action figures from like some dude. And I walked by and I was talking to him. I was like, "Hey, I'm Weston. I'm right across the road from you. I know your work. You know, blah blah blah." We started just like talking pretty casually. He was like, what do you got in that bag?" And he goes, "It looks like Ninja Turtles." I was like, "Yeah," and I showed them to him, and he just like gave me like the history of like every figure, and he was like, "Oh yeah, so this was like the like last, um, this was when like they ran out of ideas, so they were like, oh, let's make Michelangelo a punk, but you know, it's like people up in Connecticut who have no idea what punks are, so they gave him like a mohawk and a keytar."
Yeah.
And he just like gave me like the history of like every figure and why like Leonardo's dressed up as a fireman, and I was like, he's very nice, he's very polite. But I do, you know, also think he's problematic.
Yeah, I think that it's good that he's not continuing to do those comics, though. I mean, he hasn't. I mean, not to my knowledge, at least, he hasn't done a Hip Hop Family Tree comic since he finished it, right?
I think so.
And I mean, there was the fiasco of those god awful like Marvel has hip hop covers this month thing, which was fucking terrible. But beyond that kind of stuff, I don't think he's really done anything like that since then. I mean, I don't know. He's not like my favorite creator or anything. Like, I've seen what he's doing now. The whole like he's doing kind of like a, you know, a splatter punk, you know, genre kind of horror comic right now, and it looks, I don't know. I haven't seen anything that really looks interesting about it, other than it has like a lot of extreme violence in it. So I haven't really checked it out yet. But whatever. I feel like right now there's all these people they're jumping on him like crazy.